It's Wednesday, June 3rd, 2015, and you're listening to the Film Project Podcast, Episode 80, Z Nation, Lilac City, Comicon.
I know. Looks like we have a good turn on here. It's a very good turn, yeah. Well, should maybe pull that thing back. There's a whole bunch of people.
A bunch of people. They need to see you, Karl. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I have to pull the podium back so everyone can see Karl Scheafer.
Oh,
Look at that. People are waving. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Lilac City Comicon Z Nation panel. We have the cast and crew of Z Nation.
Z.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the showrunner, Karl Scheafer, right here.
Hello.
The star of the series, Keith Allen. The man who needs no introduction, Doc. Pisay Pao, who plays Cassandra. Annastasia Baranova, who plays Addie. Skeezy, Doug Dawson. And the unsung hero of Z Nation, Alex Terzieff, the stuntman, head of stunts. You've seen Alex more in any episode of Z Nation than you realize. We'll get to that later. And then on the very end, we have Jason McKee, visual effects supervisor. My name's Sean. We do a podcast. It's called the Film Project Podcast. We interview filmmakers and we talk with various artists from Spokane and kind of the greater inland northwest area. So this is all being recorded for the Film Project Podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on YouTube, it's on Google, it's on all that stuff. So check it out. We'll have a Q&A in just a little bit. We'll have some fun prizes as well. But you know, it all starts with Karl Scheafer, right here, the man. Tell us, what is the inspiration for Z Nation? Yeah, let's give him a round of applause.
The inspiration.
You know, how did Z Nation start?
Well, Z Nation actually started in the halls of sci-fi with my co-creator, Craig Angler, and
I think you got it. Oh, hold on. You know, just in case, use this one. There you go. Just in case.
All right. Can you hear me now? It started at Sci-Fi with Craig Angler, who was an executive there, and they realized they wanted to make a zombie television series, but knew that we had to make it something very, very different from The Walking Dead. There was already a great zombie series out there. And then he was connected with me as sort of the writer, creator of the pilot, and together we came up with the characters and the story and the adventures of, Murphy and Warren and Doc and Mac and Addie and Cassandra and everyone else that we meet along the way. And our inspiration was just sort of, zombie lore and Americana, and just how crazy a trip across America would be during the zombie apocalypse. And the main thing we wanted to do was put the fun back in zombies and make a show that was as crazy and out there and going for laughs, that the audience would feel like that's the kind of zombie show they would make if they were making a zombie show. And one of the things I've told the whole crew, and I think you'll see from everybody up here, is we want the show to look like the people making it are having a great time. And if that comes through, that we're kidding and that the people that are making the show are laughing, you'll be having a good time too, and the audience will respond to that. And it seems to be working so far. So that's how we came to Z Nation.
So if you guys are here, I'm guessing you all watched season 1. It ends quite dramatically, obviously. What is, without spoiling anything, what is ahead with season 2, going into season 2?
I'm sorry, didn't hear the last part of the question?
Oh, no.
What
can we expect going into season 2?
Oh, well, what can you expect going into season 2? Well, within the first few minutes of the pilot, we'll see who survives, who lives, who dies, and the sort of the second apocalypse that's coming. If the first season was about society trying to rebuild itself, and every week they were running into a different group of people trying to rebuild society, I think this season humans can sort of see the end coming and that we might not win in the battle with the zombies. And everyone's looking for the cure, and you're going to see a lot more desperate humans, a lot crazier situations, and lots of different zombie mutations this season.
Well, that goes into Keith here, our star of the show. With everything that happened with Keith during season 1, is Murphy redeemable? And as you play him, you know, he's done some terrible things. Are we going to continue to see him do terrible things? What's next for Murphy? Yeah, go ahead.
Define terrible.
I think it's the episode where he let the zombie into the apartment building.
All right. So I think there's something wrong with this. I don't think Murphy's a terrible guy. Quite frankly. When you look at it from my point of view, Murphy's doing the best he can in a really bad situation, and which you put me in, by the way. But I think when I look at Murphy's character, he makes hard decisions, and they're not popular decisions, and they're not often kind decisions, and they're not the politically correct decisions. But really, he's doing the best he can in a really horrible, horrible world to get through it. And in the end, if he doesn't survive, humanity doesn't survive. And so he has to survive. And so he comes off as maybe being a little selfish, maybe doing, unjust things. But I think in the end, if people would have listened to him in the first place, they would have been better off to begin with. I told him not to go back for that baby. I told him to leave the baby. They didn't listen to me. But, so I don't know that Murphy necessarily needs to be redeemed. I think he's doing the best he can in a really horrible situation.
Very good, very good.
Thank you.
So we'll go down to Doc for this. Russell. So the character of Doc is the heart of the show. I think I see a lot of people saying that. How do you feel any pressure with that being the heart and also kind of the comedic element of the show? What kind of pressure do you have with that?
First, I just want to say, hey, Spokane. We really love working here. We love you guys. It's a whole new world coming back for season 2. And it's just great to get all the support and all the love that we're getting from everybody out there. So, Doc I guess he's the heart of the show. I don't know. He kind of gets along with everybody. I think he has a lot of compassion for Murphy. That could have easily been him. I'm sure he probably did a little jail time, maybe. So, and I get to have some funny moments. That's always fun for me. And spoiler alert, Doc lives. So there you go. We don't know for how long, but I'm here. So.
Awesome. So Pisay, we'll go down to you next. So going into season 1 and where your character ended at the end, at what point did you know where your character arc was going? Spoiler alert, Cassandra gets bitten in the last episode.
Correct.
So how did that process go through, the creative process of that, working with the writers? When did you know that was going to happen, and what's next for Cassandra?
That feels like so long ago, to be quite honest with you. I'm not gonna lie.
That mic sucks. Here, take this one.
Hello. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be honest with you, that was a really long time ago, so I don't remember specifically when I found out about Cassandra becoming a blend. Is that what you're asking? But I know that it happened a lot later in the season than people might have expected, and I know that it was a huge surprise for me. Karl, do you remember, I think it was maybe episode 9 or 10 that I found out Cassandra was becoming...
Well, we were originally going to kill your character. We were originally going to kill your character a lot earlier, and then like once you were in the part and in the role and part of the cast and everything, we just decided we needed to keep you alive. And it was like, well, okay, now we've got ourselves into this box here. How do we get out of it?
Because she's a hottie.
Yeah. That's not to say you're safe for very long at your back. You know.
Nobody's
Yeah,
safe
no, I mean, the one
there.
thing you can count on this show is, like, as soon as you think you've got us figured out, we're going to do just the exact opposite of that. And we love messing with the audience. So, yeah, no, I think it was just that you know, with all of these roles, you write them, you know, in a vacuum before you've met any of the actors. And then once the actors show up, they just become those people in your mind. And it, you know, this show, just the way it was made and how quickly it was made, and coming here to Spokane and everything, it became kind of this living organism that made its own decisions as we went forward. And that was just keeping your character alive was just the way the show evolved once we were all up here and in these situations.
It was a very good decision.
Yes.
It was the best decision ever. So to answer your question, I didn't find out about that arc until much later in the season, and I just rolled with it, I think, and I had a really good time, and I'm loving it, and I can't wait for you guys to see Cassandra in season 2.
It's a very good tease. Very good
If
tease.
she survives.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
So Anastasia.
Hey guys!
So did you get any grief from the decision your character made leaving Mac?
I did. Like a lot. I've been to a couple conventions in this past month, and people will come up all the time and be like, "Why would you do that?" And I'm like, "Cause I needed a nap, and they had carrots. Why would I? I was tired." But then, you know, it's weird. In a conversation with people, I'd be like, "But you understood, right?" And they'd be like, "Well, yeah, I guess it makes sense. But why did you leave him?" So yeah, man, a lot of people got pretty more upset than I imagined that they would.
But no credible threats.
What?
No credible threats. It was all in fun.
I mean, I have a Z-Whacker. I don't think people are going to come at me, you know. I can handle myself.
And has everybody seen her cosplayer? Where's her cosplayer
Gabby,
at?
where are you?
Can we bring her up? Come on up. No, come on up.
Now
Yeah,
that
no, come on
is
up,
a
please. Yeah,
Z-Whacker.
come on up. We got
It is
we got
like
a prize
a
for you.
functioning Z-Whacker, too, so please be careful.
We got
Alex
a special
Safety's
surprise
here.
for her. You should
Yeah.
give this to Anastasia. It is a season 1 set of Z
Yeah,
Nation
girl. That's it. We'll sign it all later.
for our Addie cosplayer.
Get it, girl.
Thank you very much for coming out.
You need to get a little blood on that thing.
It's actually
Needs
it's
some
it's
use.
pretty tough. I think it's tougher than like the prop
It's a real
one.
Z. No, that's an actual bat. Yeah. It's a real bat.
Anastasia had our stunts guy inspect it too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Alex, you're all safe. Or not.
So going down the line again, we got Skeezy there, Doug.
Hello.
So you showed up in the pilot. Did you know then that you'd be a reoccurring character? And will we see more of you in season 2 if we're able to say anything, if there's any spoilers that Karl will allow?
No, actually, showing up on episode 1, we did not know. It was supposed to just be Sketchy and Skeezy show up and go. And as we were filming episode 1, Karl came up and said, "Hey, we're thinking about bringing these guys back. Are you interested?" And that's like, well, let me check my schedule, Karl. I'm not sure if I want to be a recurring role on a national television show. So no, we found out, you know, and then it was kind of a wait and see. And of course, then they brought us back for episode 7. I'm not sure if I can say if we come back in season 2.
You can say that.
Okay, we come back in season 2, yes. So. Okay. My agent has been like, "You're not supposed to say anything." I'm like, okay, well, the executive
I don't know if
producer
you
said
make
it's
it to
fine.
season 3, but that was another one of those organic things where, you know, it was 2 guys that just had a funny bit with Doc for his introduction, and when they all got on set, it was just so funny, and their characters were so indicative of the tone of the show that we decided to bring them back for the gun episode last season. And then they have a great, I'll give a little spoiler away, an adventure with 10K coming up this season. So it should be a lot of fun.
Very cool, very cool. So, so down the line, Alex Terzieff, like I said, the unsung hero.
Hello, everybody.
If the crew has done their job, you won't recognize the many zombies that Alex has played. through the different makeup and effects and tricks with the camera. But do you even know how many zombies you played in season 1?
I lost count after about 35, 36, somewhere in there. I was actually keeping track of it for a while, but no, I lost count.
Yeah.
It's being out here in Spokane, we've got the best extras around, but there's a certain...
Our zombie extras are
the
fantastic,
best. They
by
are
the way,
the
yeah.
best.
Do we have anybody in the crowd that has been an extra? We got a couple? Thank you very much.
McAvoy and Mr. Bro over there. See you guys. Yeah, they're the best extras by far, but there's still certain things that get thrown in at the last minute where, you know, it crosses a line into stunts, and so being way out here, I get done up in makeup, and I get turned into a zombie at least once an episode. So it makes me feel good to be able to do that for them, and I enjoy the show, and I enjoy performing, probably more than coordinating. So. It's always good to do, but the cast has been doing their own stunts too, which normally we would try and double them every time, but being up here in Washington, we haven't had a TV show in 20 years, I think. Everything went to Canada about 20 years ago, and so we don't have a big stunt community up here anymore. There's probably about 5 stunt people in Washington. So based on the athletic ability of the cast and what they're able to pull off, we've been pushing the limit a little bit with them on their stunts, and they do a lot of their own stunts. And I know worst case scenario, Mr. Scheafer will just write a hover round into the script if something was to happen. So, I mean, I don't want to see that, but they've been doing their own stunts just so, I mean, more than what I'd normally allow. So there's some good stuff coming up this season for sure.
Well, you've got one zombie you play that. How long was your makeup for that zombie? Like 6 hours, something like that? 6, 7 hours of makeup?
This last zombie was 6 hours in makeup for me, 2 hours in wardrobe, another hour in makeup after wardrobe, and then touch-ups on set for probably half an hour or something. I didn't get any sympathy out of Murphy here because he's been a different shade every day. So.
Yeah, so we have some really spectacular zombies coming up this season that I think people are going to enjoy.
And for all the moms out there, Alex was also the stunt double for 50 Shades of Grey. I told him I would tell everybody that.
They've been feeding me too well on the set of Z Nation. That's the only problem. This here is... No, that's a guy called...
Are you helping him?
That's Blackhawk.
He also helps people with their camera settings. So if anybody needs some help, he's there. Cool.
Yeah, that's 50 Shades of Grey was my second favorite to Z Nation. I was only on 50 Shades of Grey for 6 days, and I was on Z Nation for 5 months last year. So this has really been a great thing for Washington, and I grew up around the movie industry in Seattle when we still made movies there, and I never thought we'd get a TV show back in Washington, so I got to thank Karl for that.
Yeah,
we're happy
it's
to
a
be
big
here.
deal. It's a big deal to the community.
Yeah, no, it's been a great place to shoot. We're having a really good time. And I can't really think of another place we could go that would double for the whole country, the way we've been able to use the locations around here, just around Spokane here. We've got deserts and mountains and wheat fields and abandoned factories and just fantastic locations for the New Jersey, New York, we found it all here. So it's been great shooting here.
I told him the first time I pulled through town, if he just went down to Sprague, he could film zombies and fire the makeup crew.
So Jason McKee, Jason's also on the Film Project podcast, but he is a visual effects supervisor for the show, and he's been doing visual effects for years and years now on many films. Woo!
If you remember the Liberty Bell, he was one of the guys.
He's responsible for the Liberty Bell. So, Jason, what has been the most fun effect to do for the show, and what has been the most challenging? And maybe they're the same effect.
Well, I couldn't ask for a better show to give the opportunity.
You got to kiss the mic.
Oh,
There you go.
all right. I couldn't ask for a better show to get the opportunity to do some of these crazy effects. It's always fun doing the half zombies pulling their guts along the ground and that kind of stuff. So Patient Zero was one that came together really, really surprisingly easily, I guess. So that one was a good one. The tornado was fun. We actually created a
Zombie tornado.
vortex machine that took dry ice and made it and sucked it up from the ground up, and then it was only 3 feet tall or so. And we flipped that around in post and composited that in, and then you get a tornado out of it. So, but I'd have to say the first big challenge of the season that I kind of had the most fun with right off the bat was the Liberty Bell. So, I mean, that was the big hurdle. That once we got past that, we're like, all right. So, yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So if we can go down the line again, I guess just starting with Keith, for as much as you can say, but where are you taking the characters in season 2, and did you have any say with the writers as far as, it's a hit show now, you guys own these characters. Is there a collaborative process with the writers? Do they come to you and bounce ideas off you? Because at a certain point, you've created the characters' language just as much as any of the writers have.
Well, I have to say that Karl and the whole creative team on Z Nation have been very open to our ideas and input, which is new to me working on a show where they want to hear what your ideas are and what you think this character might do next, or what you would like to see the character do. So that's really refreshing to feel that we have some creative input on the show itself and the character. So that's amazing to me that they are so open to our input. It helps us be part of the whole creative process. I think for Murphy, for my character in season 2, one of the things that I think is interesting is that Murphy is coming into his own. He is really finding his own strength and power for the first time in many years, when he has been nothing but a victim and a prisoner, mostly in season 1. Now he's got some strength, and he's tired of taking other people's shit. So, I think in this season, he's really much stronger, and so he does things that surprises the whole crew right off the bat. Well, even in the end of in season 1, he does things that many people are not gonna like. I'm telling you now, but again, I think he's doing it because, one, he wants to live, he wants to survive, and he feels that now he feels a responsibility with the gift that he has been given. He's a new breed of human, like nothing we've ever seen before, and I think he also he doesn't know what he can do, and so he's discovering it as he goes along, and I think that's part of the fun of the show as a whole, is that he doesn't know what's going to happen next. He doesn't know whose mind he can control or what's going to happen if he bites this person. He's just winging it most of the time, and he's doing the best he can. So,
Very good. Russell.
Could you repeat the question?
Oh. Yeah. Where's your character going in season 2?
Can't tell you that.
Oh, someone tap it. Am I in trouble? Oh, okay. And where's your character go? Where's Doc going in season 2? And are you getting any working with the writers? Are you able to give your input to the character for future episodes?
Yeah. They've been really open to our ideas and our ad libs and our, just the fun that we bring to the show. And, for me as an actor, the first thing I always ask myself when you take on any role is, who does this character become now that I'm playing him? So I was able to go to the writers and say, sometimes, once in a while, I would say, that doesn't feel right for Doc, for me. Maybe that would have been a great choice for another Doc, but for me, it just didn't feel right. And they've been really open to that. So that's been really helpful and really nice. And so where am I going? Am I allowed to say where I'm going? Doc kind of kicks it up a notch, I think. That's fair to say.
Well, yeah, this season we're going to see why Doc is a survivor, I think. You're going to see like a badass side of Doc, I think we haven't seen before. And also one of the ideas that you brought into the writer's room was the notion of Z-weed, which
this is true.
Figures into this season.
Holla.
And we just took up what was a funny kernel of an idea, and turned it into like I think a really interesting, scary, crazy episode. So so it's an organic process. We have a lot of fun kicking stuff back and forth, and people come up with ideas, and we throw it in the writer's room and see what comes out.
Yeah, stay tuned for the Z-weed. It's epic. Seriously.
Kids, you didn't hear that. Don't worry about it. Anybody under 18, don't worry.
So the question is, where is my character going for season 2? I have to piggyback a little bit here on Keith in terms of unpredictability and Cassandra not knowing where she's going. She's very primal this season. She's very animalistic. Everything sort of just happens based off what she's feeling at that.
She's very sexy season 2, can I just say?
Why are you lying? This is awkward.
Real quick, I got to make a public announcement. We need Larry Shuck to come to the information booth. Larry Shuck. Sorry. Okay, back to the panel. Larry, where are you?
Now back to your regularly scheduled program. So she's just on the deep end of the ocean. She is out there. She's behaving in the most erratic, most surprising ways, I think. Every day I show up on set, I try to do something that will surprise me because I think that's where Cassandra is. She's just completely unpredictable.
So do you get out of the ladies' camp? Are we going to hear the spoiler here?
Dad, what can I tell them? Okay. Right? Well, I'll say this. So Addie lives. She carries on. What do I say? I think something happens for her where, so she was an art student. And it's pretty interesting that, an art student somewhere in college is alive 4 years into the apocalypse. And we talked about how all of these people, to be alive in this world for this long, had to have something in them that the environment just triggered. And, just a gene that kind of came alive. And I think what happens for her over the course of season 1 and towards the end of the season is that, it all kind of compounds and she kind of shuts down for a little bit. And then something happens, and instead of kind of metaphorically going down with it, she kind of snaps back. And she's just in full-on mission mode. And something we talked about was the realization that regardless of what happens, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to possibly be a part of the group that just might save humanity. Like, what? That's incredible, regardless of what happens. So, season 2, she's a warrior. She's like woman on a mission, and really focused. And man, she's got business to handle. Is that good? That's good. It's business time.
And a new haircut.
From my understanding, what happens with Skeezy and Sketchy is that at the end of each one of their episodes they were in, they say closing time, load up their gear, and go. And from now on, what's going to happen is right at the end of the episodes they're in, they're going to say, Larry Shuck, you're needed at the information booth. And that's how that ends, my understanding.
Spoiler alert.
So we also want to give a shout out. There's several Z Nation crew members in the audience right now. If you worked on the show,
hardest working crew in showbiz.
Yeah.
Stand up. And we have editors out there. We have post production. We have production.
Get up with your band. Yay! Woo!
And right
Special
there,
effects there, Corinne and Josh. Yeah, you guys stand back up. Those are our makeup zombie people right there.
Effects.
Some of them
the hardest
unsung
working people
heroes.
on the set.
You try getting 25 zombies up in the morning and dressed.
So I guess going down the line again, we'll start with Jason McKee. What is your favorite episode of season 1?
My favorite episode?
Yeah.
I like the last one. I think it leaves it on a big cliffhanger that leaves you excited for the next season. Yeah, but I mean, they're all fun. They've all got their things. But as a whole episode, I'd have to say the last one.
Same question, Mr. Springer.
Yeah, same question. Yeah.
Okay. My favorite episode is episode 7, which is where I met Mr. Dawson here. But I loved it so much because it reminded me of about 3 old westerns that I really, really like. And apparently, Mr. Scheafer had never seen any of them, or if he had, they were so long ago. But I was watching, there's a western called, well, I'm trying to think of the name. It's Jimmy Stewart, and it's Winchester 73. And episode 7 reminded me a lot of that. And that's my favorite episode. I loved it. I was in it as a sniper, but I was the weakest link. But I still liked it. So.
I could have found out what happened.
You can't say your own episodes now, Skeezy.
Episode 7. No. I could have found out what happened in the later episodes, but chose not to, and I watched them like everybody else. And I'd have to say that I don't know which episode it was. It might have been 3, where there's the preacher dude.
Oh, 6.
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
Episode 6, I have to say, was the one that I really, really enjoyed. It shocked me, and I thought the acting was really, really great in that.
Yeah, man, such a tough call. I'll say 7 for myself, just because I got to be on the back of that motorcycle all the time. That was super cool, and it was what's it called when it's the long?
Oh, widescreen.
Widescreen, yeah. So it looked really cool, and we have like this crazy director. But then I love 7, man. I love the gun show. Gun show, go you.
And that director was Abram Cox, who will be returning this season again for more
will
episodes.
Indeed, and it's very exciting.
I wish I could be unique, but I'm going to have to say episode 7 was my favorite overall, because I think that we had gotten to a point where we had really found our groove, and we really felt connected to the writing, and we really just kind of having Abrams here too was great. And so as a whole, I really liked episode 7. But my personal favorite episode was 13, because Cassandra is badass in there. Yeah. I almost swore. I didn't. Yeah. Earmuffs.
I liked the finale a lot, and I liked, I did, and I liked the Resurrection Zombie a lot, because I love that Murphy found his power in that episode, you know. It was my least favorite to shoot, because I felt like I spent the whole episode on my knees, handcuffed in the dirt, but when I saw it, it was really my favorite. I loved everything else about it, except my part. And I really liked, I don't know, I just have little bits and pieces. Like in the FUBAR, I love that ricochet bullet montage with the dude in the outhouse. Remember that part? Was that just great? That was my favorite special effects moment that I liked. Anyway, there you go.
I'd say for myself as an actor, my favorite episode was the Zombie NATO episode, because it's really the first time we see Murphy take a complete right turn or left turn, and where I get to shave my head, which I've always wanted to do, but I never wanted to do it unless someone was going to pay me to do it. So finally, someone paid me to shave my head, and it turns out I got a pretty good head. I thought it'd be all freaky.
Who knew?
I know. I thought it'd be pointed instead, but it was pretty good. But and it was also, I think, the first time that we see Murphy really have compassion for the zombies, that he really gets it, that he really connects with his people. And I think it was the first time we see a tender, touching side of Murphy, and I think that's a huge shift for the snarky character that was leading up to that. And so, that's my favorite.
And Karl, what's your favorite episode of season 1?
That's hard to say. I mean, I like so many. I mean, they're like your kids. You like them all for different reasons. I actually think I liked episode 8, the one where Citizen Z was having the hallucination of the Russian cosmonaut, while the other guys were trapped in the morgue. And Murphy goes out, and it's a moment that so many people talk about on the show where you take the food from the family and let the dad in.
They weren't going to make it. Let's just face it. They were doomed to begin with.
To me,
right?
that had like the kind of like moral dilemma that only happens in a zombie apocalypse. And I would argue that your character did exactly the right thing. That even though it was the self-serving, horrible thing, that you need to survive. Your survival does matter more than those two people. And it was a matter of one or the other. You did the morally right thing. You killed the few to save the many. And then with the dad, knowing that the family was doomed, it seemed like, a
reunion,
better
like a family
to do
reunion.
It. Yeah. And that show gave people the creeps, and I like that. So that was one of my favorite moments. But there's a ton of, the Liberty Bell, the bullet, and when Warren I think Warren coming out when she gets her strength back in the Fubar episode we have the spaghetti western music, and she comes out and slays all those zombies. Just seeing that kind of like strong female character that because we write our women characters just like the men. I mean, we really see them as tough and as strong and as much a survivor as anybody else in the apocalypse, and that's a great scene of that. I thought a great example of it, and just showing how good our crew is too. I just thought it was a really, all hands on deck kind of scene. So, that was my favorite.
Yeah, awesome. And I think 10K wanted to make it here. Nat Zhang wanted to make it, but he has the algebra final or something like that.
Prom.
Is that what it is?
Prom.
He's at
prom. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, cool. So we can do some question and answers. We got a couple of minutes if you guys want to line up at this microphone. Doctor Who's coming up right away. Doctor Who.
Okay, first of all, I just have to
say. And you got to kiss the mic.
Oh, let's get really into it.
But don't kiss it so that the next person feels.
Does anybody know about
your lips.
this guy right here? What?
He's actually a member.
I know.
Too.
There's a lot of
security.
First of all, I just want to say thank you so very much for bringing more light to Spokane. We're such a small little town, and we've done a lot of movies over the years, but you guys have really brought something extra special, which is given not only me, but my group. We're with, we've got a little group on Facebook called Space Cadets and Dreamers, and we created a video for one of our contests. It was inspired by you guys, actually, called Space Cadet Zombies, and it's on YouTube. It's fantastic. But my question to you, being here in Spokane, in our wonderful city, and you guys got to see everything that we so far have to offer, what is your favorite location that you have filmed in?
That's a good question. Everybody have a favorite location that they filmed at?
Spokane has so many great locations, first off. I mean, it really is amazing. I think, there's the abandoned factory that we shot at last year, R.H. Hansen. That was the refinery in the that episode, and where Mac and Addie's Dream episode took place. That's a great location.
Hey, Doctor Who, take a button. Sorry.
And we just shot in the Trade Winds Motel, the abandoned motel over on 3rd Street that had the curved hallways. That's just going to be a fantastic episode. Such a scary location inside. And we took over the town of Medical Lake last week. We got a lot of Medical Lake fans here, and it looked like the apocalypse had come to Medical Lake. You could tell Z Nation was shooting there because we had 3 crews going at once. There's blown up cars over here. There's dead zombies in the street over there, and all of our fans are watching everywhere. It was great. It was a lot of fun. So Spokane's been fantastic to shoot in. We couldn't be happier up here, and the people have been great. Everybody's just been fantastic. So
I think that's really well said. What next question?
In season 1, we see Addie have a lot of guilt about ending up killing her mother and brother. Are we going to see her resolve that at all?
Ooh. I mean, I think maybe trying to, but I feel that the way, well, I mean, I guess that's sort of what Staying at the Sisters of Mercy was about, right? Where it was like, it all kind of came to the surface, and she had the opportunity there to be with it, and to also, in a way, be around that feminine sort of energy. And, there was a lot of women, and I think that was a part of why that place was so attractive, because in a way maybe we could have found anybody else, any other group to stay with that wouldn't have felt as safe. And in season 2, I think she shelves it. I think it, once again, because like we're back on the move, it's just something that kind of has to again be compartmentalized, and if I want to live, like, I gotta go. So I think that's kind of what happens. And there's more that happens too.
Great question, by the way.
Good question. Thank you
Good
very
call.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, this is for the visual effects supervisor.
Jason. Yes.
Give me a second. Were there any issues that you had with visual effects in the first season or what current season that helped create better visual effects?
Are there any tricks that help create better visual
Any
effects?
issues that you had originally with a project that you found out may eventually made something better?
Like challenges that and how they turned out better than you expected, perhaps?
Yeah.
Happy accidents. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is the little things that, like, it's when we're shooting elements, actually, okay, here's a good example. We shot for episode 8 and for episode 5, we shot the tornado. So I already talked about how we did the actual tornado, but to create the big dust storm, and then also parts of the storm that's chasing them, the zombie NATO, as it's being formed, we actually did cream and water, kind of like the old school Close Encounters of the Third Kind technique. But we were, that was kind of the first time we were messing around with that technique personally. So we thought it would be that only when we put the cream in the water at first will it look good. And it actually was when it was already foggy and then we put it in, then it looked good. And then a lot of the other stuff is just little things you find out along the way. There's no way to ever plan perfectly, so you kind of got to make it work. But I can say there's some crazy stuff coming up in this season, so it'll be interesting.
That's good. Thank you.
So,
You got to get real close to it. Sorry.
okay, so is Cassandra going to have any kind of moral dilemmas with trying to hold on to her humanity
I'm sorry, say the last part again.
while trying to hold on to her humanity?
Are you going to have any moral dilemmas trying to hold on to your humanity?
My instinct says that you're not. Oh, gosh. No. No moral dilemmas. It's all fun and pleasure.
Good
Thank you.
answer. Good answer. She'll have a button for you. Yeah. We like the shirt. The cast and crew have all been asking, where are you getting the Z Nation shirts? Because this guy, he's wondering where his royalties are.
You can buy them off eBay or Amazon.
Nice.
Thank you.
Sci-Fi's website has them? Awesome. Okay, check them out. Oh, eBay also. Oh, really?
Jewelry
Etsy.
inspired by
Check your
Z-Nation.
Etsy shop for a Z-Whacker necklace.
Get my lawyer on the phone
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, what's your question?
Okay, so are you going to be filming in Medical Lake soon?
Actually, we are coming back to Medical Lake soon. I think we sort of scouted some locations. It's not for sure yet, but it's almost definite that we'll be back there this season. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah, go get a button. She's got buttons for you over there. Grab some buttons. Here we go. Clark Kent, come on up.
How many people did it take to film the zombie NATO?
How many people did it take to film the zombie NATO? Jason, that might be a good answer for you.
Well, they are all fake, so they don't exist. It's CG. Yeah. So, well, a few. It took a few of us. We've got a small team of people, so it's the guys you see flying around inside that tornado are all fake, And even the guy flying towards and hitting the ground and hitting the tree, fake. So, yeah.
Good question, though, man. Good question. Obviously, if it looked real, he did his job.
I got one thing to say about that. There was one zombie in that tornado that was real, and it was me, and I had to throw I had to throw myself into a fire truck, and it looked absolutely ridiculous. And actually,
what we
he
were
made
going
it look
for.
good. I still can't figure that out. So,
yeah,
it's kind of a two-part question. Why did Murphy have to bite Cassandra in the face instead of any other part of her body? And then, since he did that, are they going to become a couple?
Oh, wow.
Where's your mom?
So you're the one that hacked our computers.
Well, I was going to bite her on the neck, and then she turned her face real quick, and it just happened. That's my guess.
Actually, it's his way of marking his people, his minions. He did it intentionally.
You know, Cassandra and we now have a very, very special bond because now we have something in common, let's say. And so, yes. So, I'll let you wait and see what happens as far as if we become a couple. But we certainly do have a very strong bond that we didn't really have before. Now we're part of the same species now, which makes us, two of the most unique people on the planet at this time. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good question.
Are we going to see more of Mac in season 2?
Are we going to see more of Mac?
Yes. Lots more of Mac. He comes back big time.
So I think it was episode 1 when the zombies were in the river.
Closer to the mic?
Yeah.
So in episode 1 when the zombies were in the river and they all of a sudden got up and attacked the settlement, I'm just wondering, do some groups of zombies actually know how to play dead to lure in survivors and ambush them?
Actually, no, they can't play dead because they don't think that far ahead, at least those zombies. The idea was if there's nothing around to react to, they go kind of dormant. So these drowned zombies had all just kind of floated up to shore and were dormant, waiting for something to move or something to attract them. And when those two guys walked up and stumbled across the zombies and made noise, that woke them all up. So that they just kind of go dormant if there's nothing around them. They wait for brains to be nearby.
All right, thank you.
That's actually a really good question. I actually thought that same thing when I watched the pilot. So just so you guys know, we got time for about 2 more questions. I'm sorry for the rest of you guys. We'll still
Thank
give you
goodness
some
it was
buttons.
only a selfie
So
he
we'll
shot.
take you and you for the next 2 questions. But you guys feel free to go get a button. And thank you for standing in line. But yeah, go ahead, please.
And we'll be around to take your questions if you didn't get up to the mic.
So I don't know if you guys can talk about this, but a coworker of mine at Walmart started a rumor saying that you guys are going to use his bug in your show, his car.
Oh, his car?
Yeah.
What kind of car is it?
It was a Volkswagen.
There's a lot of Volkswagens out there.
We use a lot of local people's vehicles. I mean, I actually, if I see a cool car, and I've done this a couple of times, I go leave a note on the windshield and say, if you want to rent your car to the zombie show in town, give me a call. And we've had a few people respond to that, and we get cool, interesting vehicles. So it's entirely possible he's not lying.
Okay.
And is that from Princess Mononoke?
No,
what?
I'm a Cubone.
Oh, okay, all right. You can see why I made the mistake, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks, dude. Your last question, you got to make it good. Everybody's looking at you.
Will the gun people be back? The truck guys with the guns?
The gun show guys?
Mhm.
Yeah, they're coming back. That's Skeezy right there. That's one of them right there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they come back for a.
So, so we have some other prizes. I think we should. They said I found out last minute that we would do like a trivia thing. Yeah. So Karl, maybe if you have a good trivia question, or any of the cast has a good trivia question, whoever answers it
Trivia
will win
question.
a prize. So, okay, yeah, go for it.
What was Murphy arrested for?
Watch. Oh, there we go.
Biting someone.
Nope.
Good guess, but that's not right. Oh wait, we got somebody
We got
back
somebody
there.
else?
Somebody back there thinks he knows.
Oh yeah, what? Was it fraud?
What kind of fraud?
Man-
Postal fraud.
There we
Give
go,
that
postal
man a
fraud.
button.
There we
Give
go.
that man a
Come on up,
DVD.
sir.
I have one. What did Sketchy melt down to make the Z-Whacker?
Oh, right there.
Beer cans.
Beer
He's right.
cans.
I knew that one.
There you go, Sketchy. We got one more box set. Any other good questions?
No, I don't know that. Oh,
what's that?
That's good.
Okay.
All right. That's a good question. What is 10K's real name?
Oh.
Not the actor's name.
Character
His
name. I saw
character's
his
real
hand
name.
go up in the red
In
shirt.
the show, what is his real name? 10K's real name is...
Red shirt kid.
Somebody over there?
Oh no, I saw his hand go up first. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Right there, buddy. Yeah.
Tommy.
There we go, buddy. Come
That's
on up.
right.
Here you go.
Tommy's right.
Oh.
All right, everybody. Well, we do have to go, but thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll have some more buttons to pass out to everybody. Karl, when does season 2 come on Sci-Fi?
Mid-September, like around September 12th or something like that. Meanwhile, season 1's available on Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and places like that. So catch up on season 1, and we'll see you all for season 2.
Yeah, thank you, Spokane.
Thank you, Spokane.
Thank you, Spokangelus.
Yeah.
And remember, you'll be able to listen to this at the Film Project Podcast. Just look it up on iTunes or whatever. Thank you very much for coming out, guys.